You get out of bed this instant.
And turn it on. Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. First ever intermission.
Yes. I hope you had your break, whatever kind of break it was. Now we're back on TV.
I had to leave for a while because Simon and myself, we actually recorded something.
Who won?
You
Simon, right?
have to check out our Facebook to find out.
Okay, I'm sure it's going to be on Instagram as well. It's the challenge of the Abings.
It was the challenge of the Abings, correct?
And I'm sure, outfit-wise, Glenn won.
Oh,
anyway,
yes,
we'd
absolutely.
like to welcome into the studio our third guest for this morning, the general manager of the Singapore Rugby Union, Sidney Kumar. Good morning, Sidney.
Welcome,
morning.
Sydney.
Good morning.
Good
We are so
morning.
excited because
Awesome.
the Sevens are
Yes.
Sevens are
approaching
next
once
weekend,
again.
but the Singapore Rugby Festival happens this weekend and goes throughout the week. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we've got a whole suite of ancillary events lined up leading up to the Sevens. That's all about bringing in the community, bringing in our kids, our wider community, basically. So this weekend, Saturday, we've got the women's 10s in the morning.
Okay.
Then in the afternoon, we've got the schools under 14 sevens. So participants get entry into the sevens. The finalists of the school sevens get to play in the stadium itself.
Okay.
Right, during one of the slots. And then throughout the week, we've got the Titans, Rock and Rumble, Junior Rugby to Vets Rugby stuff. I signed myself up for some of these teams. I'm not sure if my body will survive next week. That will run throughout next week. So we've got kids from all the way from under 5s all the way to the veterans category. So every age group.
Where does all this take place?
Surprise. So currently, we all know Singapore is a bit land scarce, right? This weekend, the rugby tournaments are all at Jurong West Stadium. That's our pseudo home of rugby now. Next week, all the games will be taking place at different locations. We've got Tuesday evening at UWC Dover, Wednesday at Siloso Beach. We've got a 5s.
nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That'll be
BAC Beach 5s organised by BAC Rugby Club. That's always good fun. You've got 5-a-side, full contact rugby, people having a bit of fun and going at each other. That's on the Labor Day holiday. And then on that day itself, you also have the Titans Rock and Rumble
Okay.
at UWC. On the Thursday, that's so-called our highlight, right? Our local highlight. So we've got our national men's and women's teams playing in the Southeast Asian Sevens.
Okay.
They play against the best teams in the region, and the finalists for those categories, the men's and women's, will get to play at the National Stadium itself on Friday afternoon.
Which is
wow.
the weekend of the Sevens,
of the
right?
Sevens.
Right.
Exactly.
If you want to find out more, you can go to sevens.com. That's spelled SVNS.com. And I like this little thing that you said, sun's out, sevens on. It's so good. So that's happening 3rd to 5th May at the Singapore National Stadium.
I mean, all this is great because, it makes rugby, look like fun. And of course, we want to recruit more people to perhaps, be the future of our rugby. And which brings me to my next question. You are the GM.
Yep.
There's, a little bit of pressure, on you. What's your expectation actually on rugby in Singapore, the future of rugby for Singapore?
The future of rugby, I think you look at it in different time frames, right? So you've got the short to medium term, which is 3 to 5 years. You've got your high performance targets. You want to do well in all your major games, your SEA games and things like that. You want to, again, be prominent in the region. Then alongside those high performance goals, you have your development goals, right? Which is, like you said, building that strong player pool, that base. Similar to what football has done with the UTR project. I think we have our very own junior rugby clubs system. Every weekend you've got thousands of kids playing rugby against each other, culminating in a finals in the middle of the year, and that's something that we want to connect with. So we connect all these moving parts together. Ultimately, you have a thriving rugby ecosystem at the top end. That's as simple as I can put it for now. But yeah, so that's the immediate to medium term kind of goal. Yeah. Of course, in the broader objective, in the broader term, we would want to have a Singapore team playing in the World 7 Series.
Right.
We want to have a professional 7 setup. Those are things that we are constantly aspiring towards.
I don't know why growing up, I wasn't encouraged to play rugby. I wish my father
See-
asked me to play rugby instead of football.
This is exactly what happened when I was in school.
Parents are like, it's dangerous.
No,
you know,
my
it's
father was from
unprotected.
St. Andrew's School.
Oh,
And St.
right.
Andrews is
Okay.
all about rugby.
Yeah.
No, but then
Yes.
he was a boxer.
I was in SJI, right? And I played football. And the first thing my father said was, you give up that round thing and you learn to play with a proper ball. Because he called a rugby ball a proper ball.
Oh, but you played football instead.
I played football. And I ended up having to learn to play rugby.
Right. I cannot picture you playing any sports at all. I'm trying. I really can't though.
Let's continue to talk to Sydney on the Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Lil Nas X. Where do we go now on Kiss 92?
Gotta learn to keep my mouth
Cannot do
shut.
anything.
You
cannot
need
do
to show
anything
pictures for proof. I really can't picture you doing any sports.
When I was in school, I played
I'm sure.
football, I played rugby, I played cricket, I played tennis.
Nice.
Really? I can
I
only
was-
picture you playing cricket.
I can
was
only picture him playing
very-
tennis. Tennis I can.
I was very
Yes.
sports
I can only picture you playing girls.
Were you athletic though? I mean, playing a sport is one thing, but actually being
You played
athletic.
4
and-
sports
But
and you
no,
are
but
questioning
you
whether
got,
you was athletic.
no, but come on, you have to
we-
excel at it as
Because
well.
you played so many sports, you trained almost every day of the week.
Back
Okay.
then it was like that.
He's starting to get
I
defensive.
thought
now.
like I was
Okay.
No.
No, but he didn't go to the army.
I want to ask you, Sydney, what about female rugby in Singapore?
Yeah.
What's that scene like?
Funny you mentioned it. Like last weekend, we just had a bit of a gathering. I wouldn't say gathering, but a bit of a small community meeting where we gathered leaders from all the different clubs in Singapore and different stakeholders to actually formulate a bit of a 5-year plan to where we want to grow women's rugby in Singapore. Women's rugby in Singapore actually
Exists?
of course it
It
exists.
does?
it
Or
does.
I don't know.
It had quite a
does.
strong presence pre-COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were up there with the top countries in Asia. So we were playing test matches against Japan, Hong Kong, China, and doing pretty decently as well. So what happened was, of course, after COVID and all those things, those structures along the way were lost. The challenge with the women's game here is it doesn't have a natural pipeline. So you don't have girls rugby in schools. You don't have girls rugby at all the NSG games and all.
So
that.
they started outside of school. It's an
started
extra
outside
activity.
of school. They started much later. So the challenge for everyone is to how to make how to connect all this and make it make sense.
Why is it that we can't get rugby played in girls'
school,
schools?
yeah, or in school in general for girls to join?
For girls to join,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think it's impossible. I think there just has to be a few things that have to come into play. So one is logistics, right? So
But they would have to start there.
yeah,
it would
they
be
would have to
easier.
start there.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not impossible, but it would have to be a longer conversation
Yeah.
to settle logistics, mindset shifts.
It's not an overnight
Yeah,
thing.
it's not an overnight thing. So our immediate solution actually is, like I said, right, working with the junior rugby clubs scene. They've got, like I said, thousands of kids playing, and that includes girls as well.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love tough girls.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, all the girls are very kunyang. I mean, she's also very kunyang. Yeah, there's no way she can play rugby, that's for sure.
No,
But
I
now,
don't like ball games,
Now,
yeah.
it's like strong women are very attractive.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I've
for
been,
sure.
I've been
Yeah.
to the sevens and I've watched
You
the
don't want that?
female games.
Yeah.
They're full on.
They are full on. So this year in the
carry it.
sevens as well, it's revamped, right? So it's
Yeah.
the first time in Singapore you have 12 women's and 12 men's teams playing.
Nice.
That's why it's over 3 days.
Okay.
In the past, it's always just the men's teams.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity.
This is
to
the
catch
first time.
First time.
So many women's
Yeah,
teams
because
are
we
playing.
normally only had one female match, right?
No, we usually have the suite of that men's competitions.
Yeah.
I think 16 men's teams,
Yeah.
and then you have one or two women's
Yeah,
games.
yeah,
slotted
one
in.
or two women's
Yeah,
games.
but this time around it's a full
Nice.
series.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
Right. I
It's
love
gonna be-
strong women. But I
You
draw the
said
line
that.
I mean, the woman can, lift me over her head and throw me. Okay, then maybe that's a bit too strong.
Glenn's worried about women in a line out who can lift him up.
Because strength comes in so many forms,
Rugby
right?
women got to be strong.
Of
Just like,
course.
It's true.
You know,
It's
rugby
true.
men who play rugby are very, very strong. See our program director. his son.
Oh
Wesley.
my goodness, yeah.
Already
yeah.
in the gym already. Already doing bench presses and all kinds of. And he's very, very strong.
But seriously,
at
Angel,
14.
Angel should watch a full-on ladies
Yeah, I
rugby
haven't
match.
seen. Why? I can watch a men's
You
as
can't play
well.
rugby.
No, but
Yeah.
no,
I don't
to
wanna
watch
play.
the
Rugby.
women, they are full on.
I'm sure.
Sydney,
I'm
let's
sure.
touch rugby, right?
There is.
For women or what?
I'm not
For
interested. though.
anyone, for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
does it
Looks
take?
could kill.
What does it take to make a good rugby player? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that
Yeah.
want to play but
Yeah.
maybe can't play.
I think the traditional concept is always rugby players have got to be
Tall, big.
rugged, big,
Yeah.
strong, a bit rough on the edges and
Yeah.
things like that, right? But I think the modern game has evolved a bit. So you've got two different kinds, right? You've got the 15-a-side mold where it's dependent on position and all that. But even then, skill set is very high. But for the sevens game itself, I was just sharing with the other group that the sevens game itself really requires a lot more. Everything is magnified by like 50 times.
Right.
So imagine in a 15-a-side game, you have pockets to hide.
Yeah.
If you're tired, you can rest in the
Correct.
corner.
Stand back and stuff,
Yeah, you
right?
can stand
Okay,
back. You
okay.
can avoid tackling because somebody else will tackle the person. But in the sevens game, basically one person is covering extra space.
Yeah, man.
There's no way to hide.
So 15 aside
It's
is
so
where you want to
tiring.
start, right? I mean, it sounds a little bit
Just like
gentler.
11 aside
I can
football,
sit on the
7
side.
aside.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So Sydney is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch the 7 rugby sevens, she's never been, by the way.
No, I haven't.
I tell you,
You should
it's so fast
It's
paced.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Very
sure.
fast.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
They're sprinting most of the time. Yeah.
So you need the speed,
You need
You
the
need the
speed,
size?
You need the skills.
the size.
The modern game, yes.
Yes.
because it's very, very physical. In the past, you would see the sevens players all skinny, lanky.
Yeah.
All they think about is running. But now the physical element is so crucial to
Yeah.
the game. In the Singapore leg of the sevens, it's where I think the title will be decided actually. So it's
Wow.
going to be a lot of exciting matchups.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
brilliant.
it's very interesting because we keep talking about the physicality of
Yeah.
rugby, right? But for the longest time, if you compared rugby and football, rugby was the gentleman's game.
Correct.
Yeah, it was called that.
It
Yeah.
was always the gentleman's game.
Correct. The footballers are the dirty ones.
Yeah, yeah.
They just go in there wanting to injure each other
Yeah,
and all. But
this is
rugby,
true.
no,
Rugby is
they don't
different.
go in deliberately to injure
Yeah.
anybody. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough game. Done for me, Charlie Puth, who should be more popular than he actually is, according to Taylor Swift. If you
Yeah.
listen to her latest
Yes,
album.
I did hear that.
Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. The extended Big Show TV day today because we've had 2 guests, and now, of course, we have Sidney with us. He's the GM of Singapore Rugby Union.
That's right. So, Sydney, I'm sure there are some kids that want to take up rugby in school, whether in school or outside of school, but some parents who are also saying, no, it's too dangerous, you're going to get hurt, you know, I don't want you to take that sport up, why don't you learn chess instead? What would you have to say to these parents who don't want to, but the kids have the potential to become great?
Yeah, my standard spiel to parents is always anything you do there's danger, right? Any sport that you play, chess can be dangerous without a proper table and a proper
is
chair,
true.
right?
Yeah.
So make sure that you sign up for programs that are legitimate with proper coaching, proper structure, proper environment, so that it's safe for your kid to pick up whatever sport they are trying. In this case, of course, rugby, right? I mean, yes, it looks tough, it looks rough and all that, but at the end of the day, the values that come with the sport, and also rugby, I think, I feel like I'm selling a bit
You
of
are selling,
insurance.
that's why you're here.
definitely. Go ahead.
Okay,
You're from the
okay.
Singapore Rugby Union,
Yeah.
so
So for rugby, the unique thing is whatever your ability, whatever your shape, whatever your size is, there's a position for you to play, right? Whereas, I mean, certain other sports, it's very skill intensive, right? If you can't perform that skill, you're out.
Yeah.
No matter how much you like the game. But for rugby, there's a
something for
space for
everyone.
everyone.
I like that.
That's a selling point.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're a gymnast, you need to be a certain physique.
Yeah.
A dancer as well. But I like what you said about rugby having a spot for
So you
everyone.
can test Sydney right now,
Yeah.
just based on small, medium, large. So if a person is small,
Where
what
would they
position?
go?
Scrum
Sorry?
half,
There you see.
Come on, yeah.
Large,
front row, forward,
medium,
anywhere.
Oh, okay, there you go. Well, there you go. Okay, last final question before we let you go, Sydney. Marcus Smith, an England international.
Yes.
He was groomed here in Singapore.
Yes.
Do you see another group of local players reaching the standard of Marcus Smith?
Marcus Smith is just one of a few. There's a couple of the kids that grew up with the junior rugby academies, the junior rugby clubs, Centaurs, Tanglin and the like. They are representing like Wales, Canada and all that. They played their rugby in Singapore at the ages of, I think, from 7 to 10, 11 years old. Incidentally, my moment of fame is that I managed to coach Marcus for like a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a bit of a short Barbarians campaign. So we got a group of kids together. And back then, I think he was 11 years old. Incredible skill set. Of course, when he got 18, then I had to stand up, puff
On
my
a
chest
stool
out.
or something.
Yeah, but yeah. So there's a lot of this and
Okay.
infinite possibilities.
So Singapore is a great place
Yes.
for that. Fantastic.
Well, more power to the Singapore Rugby Union, Sydney.
Yes.
And-
Rugby all the way.
And if anything, just please feel free to get in touch with us, and you're welcome on the show anytime.
Definitely.
Update us on anything rugby.
Would you like to go to the Sevens?
I would love to go to the Sevens. I'm going to the Sevens with the boss, Mr.
Oh,
Stephen
there
Chu.
you go.
Last year, so I went with him.
Okay, awesome. We'll catch
I
you
would,
out there.
I would love to, but I will be in Bali. So
No, again.
Bali?
Yeah. Well,
What's more
Sevens,
important?
Bali, beach.
No, actually,
View.
Sevens, dengue. Sevens.
There you go. True.
Wow, thank you, Glenn.
Please pack
There's
extra.
a
Onward.
beach experience at the Sevens as well this year.
No. Cocktail in hand, Sevens, view. No, it's okay.
What did I talk about just now? Go Eagles. There you
When do
go.
you turn off her mic? Or?
Thank you very much. We've been speaking to Sidney Kumar, the General Manager of the Singapore Rugby Union. Thanks,
Thank you,
Sidney.
thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you so
so much.
much. It's 9:22.
Kiss 92.